Okay.
You're tuned to Evergreen Media Network. We're broadcast on 107.9 FM and also 1370 AM. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partner Show. Jeannie Roller and I, my co-host. Jeannie Roller's in Indiana. We talk about healthcare issues, things that have happened to us, things that we want to see change, things that we're trying to change, and also interview people that the same things have happened or similar or worse. Hopefully not worse, but, you know, we've had so many stories, Jeannie. And we want to continue one of the previous podcasts. I was talking about medical records and how some of the things don't seem to be interpreted correctly when you're getting treated as a patient, you know, from the get-go, like your blood pressure, maybe the OR levels, those kind of things. And they get written in your record anyway. And, you know, try and get that changed. So in my opinion, it leads you down this black hole that says that you have these different issues that maybe you really don't have. And then once it's on there, what do? So, Jeannie, you want to talk about who actually owns your medical records. Is it you? Is it the state? Is it the doctor? Who is it? Do we even know?
Well, it's really funny because most states you have absolutely no control over your medical records.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of split kind of evenly between states that have no written laws on who actually is the owner of the medical records and the states that have laws that clearly say that the medical provider, hospital, are the owners of the medical records. There is one state that says the patient owns the medical record, and that is New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, supposedly there are laws that are supposed to protect patients from inaccurate records.
Yeah.
I think HIPAA even goes into that. But ultimately, you know, if there was something incorrect in your medical record, you're supposed to be able to contact the medical provider and ask them to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they refuse to change it, then some may allow you to put a written statement in there saying that you disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it is generally up to the medical provider whether or not they will even put that statement in there saying that you disagree with that. So many times, it stays as it is, such as in my husband's medical records, that he had a baby. He is a biological male. He cannot have a baby. There's like 100 different lies in there that have not been changed. So therefore, those medical records are dangerous to him. And also, some of them are just outright lies. Now, if you go and look at some of the different states and what their laws cover in the medical records, I clicked on Tennessee code.
Okay.
And they say that a patient or their lawyer or whoever can get a medical record for what they deem as a reasonable fee or charge. And they said that to them, a reasonable fee of $18 for the first 5 pages of a medical record and 85 cents per page for the 6th through 50th page.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
60 cents for 50 through 250 and 35 cents for all pages thereafter. My husband's one medical record was like 1,500 pages. That's a lot of money. And they also charge a fee for certifying medical records. So, I mean, it could be very costly because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I tell people all the time, get a copy of your medical records.
Right.
In some states, it would be prohibitive to get your medical records, especially if you have a medical record for one hospital visit of 1,500 to 2,000 pages. I can't do the math that quick, but that's an awful lot of money,
Right,
to get those medical records.
Well, and it's also kind of, and this is all our opinions. You know, you mentioned the word lies and accuracies, however you want to label it, because we've battled back and forth to try to get these things changed, so many of us. And you're right, it's scary that you don't have any control over it. It was like that assistance that I said, they were going to write down the inaccurate blood pressure on mine, and it was like a routine thing on their part. Just put it in the record, and that's what it is. Don't question it. Don't do anything. It is what it is, without asking any other symptoms or anything like that. So you're right about that. And the money, I agree with you about Florida. I've gone through those different things with different hospitals and medical centers and stuff like that, trying to get the paperwork. And I've also questioned some of the things in my own records that I know didn't happen, and other things that did happen. And it's their word is law. Their word is law. And good luck trying to get some of this stuff changed. And it really is unnerving, because what do you do? Now you're going forward with stuff that is inaccurate.
Right. And for my husband, they said that he had another procedure that he didn't have. So we had to go out and find out through another hospital system, did they do this procedure to him? Because we had no clue.
Right.
And, these medical records, they need to be accurate. People need to be able to get them. I think, 1 or 2 free copies after every hospitalization. I think that your doctor's medical records should be available to you. I also, the other thing that I know is that the patient portals that you can get on and view your records via the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed some hospitals put a disclaimer on there that once you have accessed those records, they are no longer liable if there is any breach of those records, because you are a security risk. So, there's all these little nuances that they have. A lot of times your complete record are not on there electronically. They summarize them rather than put the whole thing on there.
Yeah, that is true.
I know that in my husband's 1,500-page medical records, there was so much repetition of things. So, you have to pay 65 cents for having a thing said 3 to 4 to 5 times.
Yeah.
It just to me, it seems like it is, yes, you can get them, but we are going to charge you to keep you from getting them. For many people, that's my opinion of why it is. They should be made readily available to people. You should also be able to dispute and have changed easily.
Right.
Outright mistakes, lies, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
My 67-year-old biological male husband did not have a baby.
All right.
That's at his age, he could not have a baby. So it is things like that you wonder, well, why do they do these things, and why is that information not your information? It is about you. It should be owned by you. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you that I get it to a point where we've talked about this before too. Like sometimes too much information is too much information. I know that sounds silly, that the patient really doesn't want it, or can't handle it, or however you want to label it. I get that. And how much is too much information? Same as police records and things like that. Wow, it's such a huge topic that we used to be able, and here we go again, to trust, and it seemingly we can't now. And this is serious when it's your health. It's bad enough when you can't trust if your bank statement doesn't tally, or if your IRS statement doesn't tally. That's really bad too. But your health, where do we go? There's nowhere else to go but to doctors and, different things like that. And it's just unnerving, in my opinion, that you have to keep on your game all the time. And when you can't keep on your game because you're so sick or something seriously wrong with you, how do you keep on your game? It's just crazy. You can't be your own advocate because you just can't be your own advocate. feel like I'm talking in circles here, and I guess I am, and my mind is just numb with the things that we listen to and put up with, nowadays in this healthcare system that we call, medicine in the United States. Anyway, on that note, be wary of your medical records, stay on top of them. You've been listening to Evergreen Media Network. Stay tuned.